Okay, hello and welcome everyone to the Pocket Ecosystem Call. I am your host Cryptocorn, as Jinx is away, hopefully sipping pina coladas on a very well-deserved break. So without that, let's jump in. I think I'm going to start with, it seems that V1.3's release last week was a success, and we have seen uptick in CUs. About 350, 400 CUs a day, which is great to see. It's about 100 CUs more than our average. So let's hope that continues. Now, we usually would move to Grove, but they don't seem to be here today. So we'll have to sort of mix things up just a tad. Let's start with maybe Ramiro. Do you want to give us any updates on POKTscan? It seems to have had some few bits and pieces of issues last week or two, or a few days maybe. Could you give us any updates with what's happening?
Hi, sure. We have been reindexing part of our database that has been hitting the service a little bit. But there's also an issue that we are currently unable to reproduce. We have a bunch of people having troubles with the site hanging, directly crashing their tab in macOS and Chrome, but we have tried the same and we are not able to reproduce it in the development. So we are working on it to see how we can fix that, how we can reproduce it and fix it. So sadly, there is no ETA for that particular issue, but we are working on that. Regarding the stability, it is not as stable as before, POKTscan, but currently we are experiencing this. We are loading a little bit more than usual our server, so that's why it has been not so stable. But two issues should be completely different things. One is going to end up soon when the resync is complete. The other one, we are actively investigating why it is happening. Sadly, there is nothing I can say about it.
Okay, well, good to know you're on it. Also, any updates or any sort of thoughts on Igniters? We've got a bit of chat recently around Igniter. Where are we with it, and what's the next plans?
Yeah. First, the thing with the unstaking is a feature that should be done. I actually thought it was already deployed. If it's not, it should be anytime, because we have talked about that a lot of time in during the development, but maybe it's not released only. I'm not in charge of Igniter, but well, it should be soon there. Regarding how the Igniter clients will compare their providers, Igniter was not created to provide a comparison of suppliers. The only thing that Igniter will tell you is which is the rev share of that provider. So you will, before choosing one, you will see a little percentage there that will tell you how much is the provider taking from the rewards of your node. And probably in the future, maybe we'll add some additional options to select chains or so. But the core principle in Igniter is for it to be really simple. So there won't be any in-depth for comparison of different providers, because as the same in POKTscan, it is not only a matter of how many rewards you get or the averages of the last 24 hours or anything like that. It's very complex to compare services. So Igniter will always only tell you a little bit of information that is the one on chain. That's the rev share. Regarding comparing node runners in POKTscan, you can, I don't know, maybe we were tracking the domain names. Maybe that will come back in the future. We are not actively working on that, but it's something that we can do. Let's parse the domain name of the nodes and give you a summary of their productivity. But all the other comparisons you want to do on top of that is up to the user. We will never add anything like a way to compare how much tokens I will do with this provider compared to that. That's not part of what we want to have in POKTscan.
It's good to hear. There was certainly a lot of problems with compare staking services with Morse, so maybe in some ways it's good just to have the raw data and no third party. We'll have to see.
Yeah, anyone is free to rebuild compare staking services and taking the heat of the community, but we are not going to do
it. Good luck to them. I certainly won't be that person. Okay, great. Next, I think Sasquatch. I understand you want to have a community request. Do you want to jump on?
Yeah. Thanks, Victor Gordon. Hey, everybody. This is Sasquatch. I'm coming from the RaidGuild DAO. For those who don't know me, we're working on a couple different projects, small projects for the PNF, and coming to y'all to ask for some specific help. We were asked to build a status type app, similar to status.grow.city, which would measure latency in the network for the chains that are supported on POKT. There's some more metrics that we were going to be showing, but really the important one I want to talk about today is latency, because it has been quite a bear to deliver. So we went through a couple of iterations. The question I have for the community today is, does anyone here have direct experience with polling latency information on the network itself? We are looking to run a POKT node, or at least Q Crypto Spider is running a POKT node, and we are looking to use that to make the queries and ping the networks to deliver the latency information. We've been unsuccessful thus far, but I know that Jinx put us on this path. I was pretty sure that this was possible. So if anybody has direct experience, first of all, and then secondly, if you have an idea of how to do this, please contact me. And Jeffrey, I see you're on here too. If there's anything that you could provide as maybe more technical context on what I'm asking about, that might be helpful.
Hey, Sasquatch. If you meant, for example, how much is the average latency for when an application makes a request to the ETH service? That's what you want to know?
Correct. And we want this at. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's not on chain. The only ones that know that are the gateways for the applications themselves, because that depends on a lot of factors. So maybe this is a bigger discussion, but the information is not on chain, that's for sure. There is nothing on chain that you can find that will tell you what's the average latency of a response.
Yeah, I don't think it would. Sorry for me fumbling through the explanation, but it's not that we think that the information is on chain, but we believed that we were able to, I guess, kind of spoof a gateway, and so we would get latency information like in front of the gateway, whereas now we were having latency information on the other side of the gateway, and we were anticipating that that was a little bit less accurate because of the effect that the gateway would have adding its own latency into that equation. This might be nitpicking too much, and we might just be able to use, as you said, the gateway latency to like present latency at the gateway level. But I just wanted, I guess, to confirm that there's nobody here who knows anything about latency investigation, like prior to that.
Not with gateways themselves, like using path, but using a single application and making a relay through the POKT network. Yeah, we have worked with that. Jorge has created some tooling for that, so maybe we can help you. But it would be like the latency from the application or gateway that you are creating somewhere in the planet and talking to the nodes that you will sample at that point. It won't be the same as what a group user will use. We'll see, sorry.
Yeah.
So it's also fair. If you ask me, POKT is not group, so if you create an app and measure the latency of that app to reach a bunch of nodes on a given service, it will give you an idea of the latency. The rest of the latency is to blame on the gateway, not on the network.
Yeah. So I think that is the solution that we're looking for.
Yeah.
And so you're saying that Jorge says something that we could maybe reference, or see what
Jorge has been working with that for the relay miner, so probably he can give you some hint on how to deploy this.
Okay, perfect. That's a huge help. I will try tracking them down.
Okay, and just to add, Crypto says it'll get a little weirder to do this with our service, since not all of our traffic will be processed through the gateway. All right.
Wait, can we use a different word for service? I think that one's throwing me off. It'll get a little weird to do this with our.
Crypto, do you want to jump on?
Oh, by service, I mean just the wider product offering from DD Cloud.
Oh.
Yeah, you won't necessarily know what you're hitting.
Okay.
So like 90% of traffic, for example, could hit POKT network through the gateway, and the other 10%, for example, could be through our own managed infrastructure.
Yeah. So I think that's why we do not want, like, the measuring at the gateway level is something that we do not want.
Yeah, I mean, I think like part of the solution would be to try and harvest telemetry data from the gateway. Or at least as much as you can get if you pull like hotel. Oh, okay. Never mind.
And it won't work.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Well, I think this is a pretty clear. If Jorge's experiment, or POKTscan and Jorge have experimented with this before and found solution, then it seems like that's the thread to pull right now. And if that dries up, then we'll come back and try troubleshooting this again with the community. But thank you for the chance to talk. And I think this feels like maybe we have a solution here, and maybe we're also just chasing something that doesn't, we're chasing perfect at the expense of good. So I'll try.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds like you have a way forward, which is always helpful. Okay, I think with that out of the way, moving on. Crypto, do you have any updates for us, or has it been quite weak for you?
Oh yeah, sorry, I have stuff. I've announced in a couple of other corners, but we are going live on December 1st. It's been a pretty amazing journey, and we finally have a lot of like pieces of critical infrastructure in place now, like our CI. Some small improvements are going on. We do expect to be live before we even actually hit the go live date. That's mostly going to be like a closed beta for basically prospective customers, basically like a tool to convert them to using our service. But yeah, there's a lot of wonderful developments going on in that category, a lot of latency improvements as well. For example, like when we get like say a 1 or 2 gigabyte response from a node, someone's pulling a lot of data through our gateway. We don't pull everything into memory. We don't buffer. We just pass the HTTP stream through frame by frame. So it's just these really small details that make a massive difference at the end of the day with respect to latency and traffic. And so if you have a lot of this besides traffic going through, I can, besides pulling it through, I can also cache things with a short TTL and a whole bunch of other like fun, clever tricks. So this month is going to be basically a mad rush to get everything up and ready for the beta, and of course for launch as well. We still need to test WebSockets specifically against Path, but we have everything working against our own infrastructure. So at least as far as like normal functionality is concerned, all the proxying capabilities work. Also did some work on local caching as well. Another really amazing reason, or another important reason why I enjoy using Rust in production software is because I can do cool things with multi-threading without worrying about, creating crazy race conditions. And, as long as I'm not tipping into unsafe, I have some really strong guarantees by the Rust compiler's static analysis capabilities. So it's all just to say, I have a really cool multi-threaded cache that I can use on my hot path.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool, and good to hear you've got a date in mind to have your big release. I think we'll be looking forward to that one.
Hell yeah. And also, while the whole discussion on X402 is super, super hot, we're also going to be creating a dedicated endpoint for users to submit their X402 payments and automatically get the resource that they've requested. That comes with a bit of additional interesting work on the X402 side. Like, for example, our RPC calls are so cheap that the actual gas fee for one individual micropayment will actually be larger than the amounts charged for the RPC call. So we're working on very interesting techniques like batching and multi-call with resource tracking on chain. But yeah, that's going to be a thing soon. So I'm very excited. You won't have to like register with the service, get an API key. Like you can just call my endpoint, and as long as the client you're using supports X402, and you're trying to pay me on one of our supported networks, then everything will just work.
It's kind of cool. We might even have our own L2 on Pocket then. Ramiro says, never thought of that. It's not as easy as it seems to get X402 with Pocket.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it can in theory be done because Cosmos SDK is extensible, but the protocol team would need to work very specifically around implementing meta transactions into the oh man, I don't even know what the little modules are called for Cosmos. I've poked around different similar ecosystem, but not Cosmos specifically like that. But yeah, there would need to be a specific implementation that allows you to abstract away gas fees or pay it on someone else's behalf.
Okay, that sounds cool. All right, with that, I think the floor is open. Are there any other questions? Anyone's interested to ask? Or feel free to type in the chat if you'd prefer, and I'll read it out.
Oh, one other thing to tack on to the whole X402 thing. We'll also have our own facilitator implementation as well. So we're going to also offer that alongside our core RPC offering.
Nice.
Yeah, so whenever that launches, not entirely sure, but I'm very
So this
dead
won't
set
launch on
on
1st
getting...
December.
Yeah, I'm dead set on getting like the core feature set out ready and available for December 1st, but the facilitators should follow sometime after that.
Okay, well, it's exciting stuff. As you say, X402 is very hot right now, so it's going to be interesting to see how much we can integrate with it with Pocket.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing is people can, without need for additional authentication, just access the blockchain node resources through Pocket Network, and I think that's a really kind of convenient way to drive even more traffic to the network.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, give them another minute or so to ask any questions. Otherwise, we may have to cut this one early, given that Grove aren't here for the usual updates. We'll have to guess what they've done this week. I believe someone said they're off in the conference, so it may not be as exciting as usual. So people are dropping already, so I think we'll call it quits here. It's been an interesting one. It's very technical. Thank you for everyone who chatted, and I guess we'll have a probably return to normality next week. So we'll see you all again next week. Cheers, guys.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thanks, Crypto.
My pleasure. Have a great one, guys.
Cheers. Bye.